Good evening, Central Indiana. Welcome to Port Time Live from Casey's Call Studio. We got the one and only John Bolin in studio. It was hard to wrangle him up and get him in here, but
it's my bedtime.
You people in Baker Township go to bed early out there, don't you?
You could have brought me on at 4 a.m. I would have been wide awake.
Right.
My coffee.
Right now, that's more my speak too. We'll get to John here in a minute. Let's talk about sponsors. Thank you so much for Tanya Kapler and Kevin for allowing us to be involved with their son's foundation, Casey's Cause. Thus, the studio is named Casey's Cause Studio. We appreciate all she does for us and love her for that. American Basement Solutions, Mr. Larry Ralph, Senior 1-877-409-2837. Key Realty with Teresa Messmer, 765-341-8911. There's Jake Gardner. Livewire, Tommy Walls Electrical Consulting and Alarm Systems. Get a hold of Tommy for all your electrical and alarm system needs. Wellspring, Jennifer Burnham's Group, 765-342-6661. Stids Comfort Systems, 765-346-0195. K2 Fitness, open 24 hours, locally owned. Great guys down there, Grant Company. Wayman's Furniture, Appliance, and Mattress. Hudson Plumbing. Mike's Automotive, Mikey Swangle. Get a hold of Mikey at 765-343-2282. If you call him, you probably have about a 6-month wait right now because he's a busy man. The Yard Bar with Andy Payton, 765-318-4108. Don't forget about our marquee. We have Team Turley Fairway Mortgage on there. We appreciate everything Angie does for us. And, of course, Livewire's on there. If you'd like to be a sponsor show, get a hold of me, myself, Beth, or Corey, and we'll make it happen. Now, John Bolin, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I appreciate the opportunity.
It's an honor to have you in here. I know I'll play dumb throughout the show, but I know a little bit about you. I've known you a long time.
Yeah.
You ran with Timmy, or he ran with you, I should say. You have been a... Ooh. I swear last time he had a big bushy beard.
What is it?
Gardner said last time he saw you had a big bushy beard.
Oh, yeah. Winter's coming. I'll have it again. It'll start in about September. End of September, I start growing it, and then I shave it in March.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror in March, and I'm like, man, who is that old man? So I shave it off.
I do that now and then I want to get rid of it, and I'm like, I can't get rid of it. So. You spent a lifetime serving and protecting the citizens of this country. In one capacity to another, and I'll run it down, then you can go a little more in depth to it. But from city, county, state, federal, you've done it all. You put it on the line every day, and that's long before Hometown Handyman. Tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would, John, for those that do not know, and if you don't, I don't know where you've been, but tell us a little bit about yourself and then what led you to where you are today, sir.
Okay. Again, I appreciate you bringing me on.
Happy to have you.
And I'm very proud of my roots here in Martinsville, Morgan County. I was born and raised in Martinsville, and born in Morgan County Hospital.
Same. We can't say that anymore.
Yeah, I know it. Not anymore. But yeah, so I was born and raised out in Baker Township, and you were talking about my public service stint.
Mm-hmm.
I started at the Morgan County Sheriff's Department in 1989.
Woo!
I graduated from high school in 88, and I went to the Sheriff's Department in 89 as a dispatcher, and back in those days they called us turnkeys or jailers.
Yep.
And that was in the old jail, 110 West Washington Street. And
that's about as big as this room, too, if you've never been in it.
Yeah, the little dispatch cubicle was like a broom closet, really was. I mean, you had a window that faced the stairs that came up from Washington Street. Public could walk right in and talk to you, and you spun your chair around to book somebody in.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was quite the honor to be able to work at the Sheriff's Department start back then. You know, the guys that mentored me and the people that I work with were the old school cops.
Right.
And some of them, and people in the legal world and law enforcement and other areas of law enforcement or the legal world will understand the statement I'm about to make. But a lot of the guys that I worked with were pre-Tennessee versus Garner guys. And Tennessee versus Garner was the law that made it illegal for a policeman to shoot at a fleeing felon.
Oh,
So prior to Tennessee versus Garner, a policeman could shoot at a felon that was running away from him. And they used to fire warning shots over people's heads and all kinds of stuff. So some of the guys that trained
That's
me
changed.
and that I hired in with were some of those old school cops.
right.
That, and most of them were World War II vets or Vietnam vets that got
They could
into
probably shoot pretty well, couldn't they?
They probably, yeah. And they were the tough guys. They were the John Wayne type guys. And
Right.
it was an honor to be trained and mentored by those guys.
Right.
But I worked at the Sheriff's Department for 8 years. And I got out of law enforcement for a while and then came back because the factory that I worked in closed. And I came back and went to work for Martinsville PD. And
I work in I work in a facility. I wouldn't say it's a factory, but
yeah.
that was a blessing, wasn't it? That it closed.
The factory, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked in a foundry.
Yeah.
So I hate the heat.
Yeah.
I hate humidity and heat, and the foundry was hot all the time.
Oh,
so.
100%. I've had to go in and do some inspection in foundries.
Yeah.
And for lack of better words, it reminds me of when you think of the word hell.
Yeah.
The heat and everything coming off the furnaces and the pots and everything.
Yeah.
If you've never been in one, don't.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
And hats off to those that work it every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So then when I got back, I was fortunate enough that Martinsville Police Department hired me.
So now you're in city.
Yeah, I'm at the city, and I'm right at the edge of the cutoff for working for a city police department, which is 35. So I was right at 35 years old, and Franz Hollanders was the chief, and Shannon Buskirk was the mayor, and they hired me. And Franz, I'm going to ramble. If you have to shut me off.
Oh no, go
wave and say, John, you're rambling.
I know some of this anyway.
I love reminiscing about my time in law enforcement. I really do.
Yeah.
And but so Franz called me on the phone. I was driving down 37, and wasn't I-69 yet. It just seems like so long ago.
Right.
But he said, John, how bad do you want this job? And I said, oh, here we go. I thought he was messing with me. I said, well, okay, Franz, what is it? I said, I want the job. I need the job. I said, the only thing I know how to do is work in a foundry or be a cop. That's all I've ever done.
Right.
And he said, you're going to have to go back through the law enforcement academy a second time.
Really?
Yeah. They had changed, the law enforcement training board had changed the rules where if you were out a certain amount of time, you either had to go back for a refresher, depending on how many years you were out. I had been out long enough that I had to go back through the whole academy. So
oh my!
I've been through the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy twice.
You probably run it now.
It was interesting being 35 years old and going through with those young guys and stuff. But
you hang with them though?
Yeah, because it had just gotten a lot softer.
Yeah.
It was nothing like when I went through the first time back in the early 90s. It was like military boot camp.
Yeah, but the mental part, you probably already got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I knew the game.
Yeah.
I knew how to get through it.
Yeah.
And things were a lot different in my life at 35 than they were at 19 when I started the first time. I had kids, teenage kids, and everything. So it was.
If that don't prepare you for life, then nothing else
right.
will.
So. And I'll try to speed on through this.
Oh, no, you're fine. No worry.
I was at Martinsville PD for a couple of years, and I got word that there was going to be a brand new department created underneath the umbrella of the Indiana Gaming Commission.
All right.
And that department was going to be led by Larry Rollins, who was the assistant superintendent of the state police at the time.
There's Seth Ringer. He said, my dad was in total disbelief how soft he got right before he passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello,
that's right. Brian was one of those old school cops I was talking about.
Yeah.
That he was there when I hired in. And Brian was, he was strictly business.
Yeah.
That guy he'd go out and he could pick out drunk drivers on the highway like nobody else. He
knew his work.
He was a good cop.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know much about his time at ILEA, but I know he was very well respected there. So
Yeah.
But anyway, I got I applied for that job at the Gaming Commission, and there were 16 of us total, and we were divided up north, central, south region of the state, and we did all undercover investigations, and it was all based on illegal gambling. So I did illegal gambling investigations.
Him and Lieutenant Bauer and John Williams said John Bolin, great guy.
There they are.
Yeah.
Yep, Bauer, that's right. Walls, Nose, and Williams, yeah. Bob Williams, man, yeah. These guys are.
Yeah. So undercover, wait a minute, complete by the book, and every person my dad arrested or he pulled over said he was fair when deserving what they gave them. Yep.
Yeah, that's Brian.
So you did undercover gambling. You didn't bust grandmas at church bingo, did you?
No, that was the charity gaming division. They were called charity gaming, and they didn't. I don't think they had law enforcement powers.
Yeah.
We had statewide law enforcement power, just like a state police officer did.
Yeah.
We did back then, and that was in 07, I guess, 2007. Mm-hmm. Sports betting was still illegal in the state.
That's right.
And so we investigated bookmakers and sports betting and any other kind of crime that was based or survived around illegal gambling.
Yeah.
So it was,
I mean, every factory in this state had the guy. Yeah, you knew the guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll bring the card around.
Yeah.
I'll pick me some games.
Parlay cards.
Yep.
And, yep.
I don't think I ever hit in my life, but I think everyone had it. And it was only a matter of time before it came legal. Yeah. But you weren't going after the nickel dimers. You were going after
it was big.
Yeah, you're going after
big money guys and guys that had a history of violence and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was other organized crime that was associated with some of the casinos and different things, and we did a lot of very interesting investigations. And during that time, I was.
This is where it gets good, folks.
Right.
Not that's not exciting. He just kept going up food chain.
Yeah, I had the opportunity, and I have to say that there were people that helped me along the way.
Sure.
Just like when I got hired at the Sheriff's Department in 1989, Scott Hamilton was the driving force behind that. I knew Scott he was the Paragon Town Marshal back then. And I knew Scott, and I will say that it wasn't because we were friends. It was because I had an encounter with the Paragon Town Marshal.
You weren't doing wrong, were you?
At 17 years old. And so,
that's good.
He was a good guy that cared about people and steered me in the direction of law enforcement.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, back to a later time. The U.S. Marshals had their warrants division, the Fugitive Task Force.
I used to watch it on the New York guy. He had the perm in the back. He ran all over the country, but he was U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force.
Oh yeah.
Him and I forget his name, but it was good.
Yeah. So they were always going to the casinos and wanting. As part of the gaming control division, I also did internal affairs investigations on the casino properties.
Ashley says hi, Johnny.
Hey. Some of my family coming on here.
Yeah.
So part of my duties was to, if there was an internal affairs investigation that needed to be done on a casino property, then the gaming control officers would go in and do that too. If there's an issue with an employee there or something that had happened there. So we had access to all the footage and we could go in and cut through a lot of the BS to get the information we needed from the casinos. And the marshals used a lot of that intel because a lot of fugitives would go into the casinos, and more cameras in a casino than anywhere else in the world.
Right.
And these guys would go in there, but that was the type of life a lot of them lived, and so
And casinos were just becoming a thing here at this point in time, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they had just...
Shelbyville was probably the first one.
It had really just transitioned, and that was really what the creation of the Gaming Control Division really came about, because they were lobbying, the casinos were lobbying to have land-based casinos. You know, back before the horse tracks, you could only have a casino on the water.
Yeah.
Which was kind of goofy.
On the boat.
Yeah, on a boat.
Yeah.
You know, docked on whatever. It was kind of silly. But that was all a part and reason of the creation of the Gaming Control Division. It was all about a lobbying effort and a give and take. But anyway, the U.S. Marshals asked my boss if there was anyone on our department that he would allow them to deputize as a U.S. Marshal to join the Fugitive Task Force.
Wow.
And so I was the lucky one that had that opportunity. And man, what an opportunity. I mean, that was a real experience there.
So you became a U.S. Marshal?
Yeah, I was deputized as a U.S. Marshal and started hunting fugitives undercover and all over the state.
Now you went different parts of the country as well.
Not as a U.S. Marshal. We were assigned to basically southern Indiana, but
I thought maybe next round.
The next chapter.
I knew he was getting to it sooner or later.
I've been really fortunate to have an exciting life. You know?
But I mean, you worked yourself in that position.
Yeah.
Not too many people would have went to the academy twice.
Yeah.
Most of them would have said, "Heck with it, I'm done."
Yeah.
There's a pastor of Baker Township right there, Luke Jackson.
There's Luke. Yep.
And you.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. You're coming from Luke Jackson. That's a real compliment.
Isn't he? He's a gem. And
he's a good guy. Yeah.
You put yourself in a position. You worked yourself in that position, and you gained knowledge from those around you that were mentoring you.
Yeah.
Clearly, you weren't you may have been a hard case, but you weren't a head case. You know what I mean? You were a hard driver, but you also listened.
Yeah.
And now you're in Marshal. Now you're a U.S. Marshal running all over southern Indiana.
Yeah. So I was a U.S. Marshal, and then part of the work that I did with the Gaming Commission was, you know, like I said earlier, anything that had to do with illegal gambling. So I got into dogfighting and cockfighting.
Yeah.
I got into investigating those. Some of the animal rights organizations, the national ones, HSUS and ASPCA, had reached out to my boss and said, "Hey, we've got some information about a big international cockfighting ring ran out of Fairfield, Indiana."
That is crazy that still goes on.
It is, but it definitely does.
Do you know a Mark Robinette?
I do know that name. Yeah. I remember the name. Yeah. So my boss said, again, he's like, "Well, yeah, I've got a guy that kind of a farm kid,
handyman,
and I think he can probably get into one of these cockfighting deals."
Oh my, yeah.
So I started the investigation on this guy. This guy had a huge presence in the Philippines, and he was from Fairfield, Indiana, and he was shipping fighting roosters back and forth from the Philippines.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was a big operation. And so
Amazon to deliver those?
Somebody was delivering them. They flying them on the airplanes over there.
Isn't that crazy?
But so I started the investigation. First thing I did was drive down by the property, and I saw this setup, you know, and I didn't really know anything about cockfighting and what to look for at the time, but he had a truck sitting out by the road with the phone number on it for sale. And that's my end right there.
Oh, yeah.
So I called the number and went back and met him and looked at the truck, and that was the beginning of the end for him.
He didn't know. So, you got your hands on it at that point in time, didn't you?
Yeah. So, you know, fast forward several months, we did a big bust on the place. And so then the ASPCA started doing some cases with me here in the state, and started asking me, you know, why don't you come to work for us as an investigator and law enforcement liaison? And So they offered me a great salary and all kinds of benefits. It was a well compensated job. And so I went to work. I retired from law enforcement and locked in what little pensions I had, and still waiting to get old enough to draw those. And went to work for the ASPCA, and I was assigned the Northeast region of the country. And
Northeast?
Northeast, I had Pennsylvania, New York, all the way down the East Coast. Several states, all the way up to Maine.
I thought yeah.
And
I haven't seen you on Northwood Law yet, so I keep waiting.
so, again, that was a great experience. And then in 2017, December 2017, I resigned from that job. And in January of 2018, I started Bolin's Handyman Services.
What a jump. But I mean, what is that, 30 years?
I had a total of 20.
Yeah.
With the ASPCA, it totaled 20 years.
20 years. Mm-hmm. And that's putting it on the line every day and dealing with some of the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of meeting some of the local U.S. Marshals at Tim's funeral.
Yeah.
And you could tell because they all stood in the back and reminded me of a military unit. And I was like, that's what I'd have been doing if I'd still in the military. So I went back there and introduced myself. And they were like, yeah, we lost our Rolodex when we lost Tim. Because he knew every name from Evansville to South Bend. We could ask him a name. We could describe someone's look and he'd be like, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so.
Yeah.
And he goes, never met a guy like him. But those were good dudes.
Yeah.
And like you, they're laser focused, hard chargers. Let's get after it.
Yeah.
And good people. You've earned the 20-year retirement. You got a box over here, I believe, still of.
Is it still here?
Yeah.
I just kind of left it thinking maybe somebody would claim it, but I guess I'll take it home with me.
Yeah, I think it is. We can dig it out somewhere. But a lifetime of hard work, and from a person that knew you back in 88, 89, appreciate what you've done and how far you've come.
Thank you. That means a lot.
You've represented not only Baker Township, but Martinsville, Morgan County, state of Indiana in the best way possible in dealing with just some horrible individuals along the way. And I know you're not going to go into full detail, but I know you've talked to a few people that I've known and I've heard. So hats off to you there. And now it's easy life. Now it's...
Well, I decided to go into hard physical labor.
Right. At your young age, didn't you?
Go from the mental labor to the physical labor now.
But
I've really done part-time type stuff all my life too, with law enforcement, especially in the early years, because you wasn't making enough money to. They make good money over here now at the sheriff's department.
Some of the salaries that I've seen on some of these, not just ours, but Brownsburg and places like that.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, and they should.
Yeah,
they should.
I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
I think
it's been way too long for them to get up to a wage they don't have to work two jobs.
I think that the two areas that this country screws over the most, money wise, and you pay these professional athletes all the money you want, but you screw the military over and you screw the LEOs over. And I'm not trying to pick on anyone in particular, but there's just no way. There's only a few people that wake up every morning and look at their family and say, I don't know if I'll be home tonight. And LEOs and military, and firefighters, that's one of them.
Right.
And some of the most underpaid, overused, most dedicated human beings on the planet. And a lot of times your military will go into law enforcement. Don't forget the best part of your career being an instructor, Ryan Swank said.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. And that's interesting that he said that, because I always told Ryan that he was my best student.
Oh.
He really was. I remember when he was just a new guy over at the jail, and I was doing some defensive tactics training for him. And I knew right away that he was squared away. Yeah. He paid attention and really focused on, and yeah, I mean, he's right. From the very beginning, I made up my mind that if I was going to do it, and this was because I had listened to my instructors at ILEA, people like Paul Weitzel and Bob Black and Joe Roop. Some of the old law enforcement guys will know those names. Some of the really old ones will know the Joe Roop name. Joe's been gone now for several years. He passed away, but Paul Weitzel's still, I think, still at the academy, and Bob Black's retired, but he lives here in Morgan County. But these guys, they hammered into me and instilled in me that if I was going to be a policeman, then I needed to be well trained. And I've never been a really big guy, physical big guy, and you know, I'm more of a type B personality. I'm laid back and want to get along with people. And I took that to heart. I knew that I needed to be well trained. So I became an instructor in several different areas. I was back in the old days, they called it defensive tactics, and then they changed the name to physical tactics. I was a physical tactics instructor. I was a close quarter combat instructor. I was a tactical knife instructor.
There you go.
I taught SWAT teams, tactical knife, and I loved it. I loved teaching. I really enjoyed it. And guys like Ryan that mention it this many years later make it all worthwhile.
Right.
And speaking of Ryan, that guy he can handle a knife.
Mr. Swank?
Yeah, oh yeah. And he's got some nice ones. I'm talking about, he didn't go to Royal King and buy them.
Right.
Sorry, Ryan, I'm telling about your knife stash, but
We have a young boy here in the city. He actually plays on the soccer team. Race Wolf is his name. He makes his own.
nice.
And he has it out the fair. He's been in studio with it.
Really?
Yeah. He's just a young kid. And
What's he make them out of? Old files or something like that? I've seen guys make them out of files.
He gets stainless. He gets all sorts of metals, and just makes them.
That's
and he is very talented in the process of. I don't know about his handling of. I had to take a little bit of that when I was in, and wild story. But he's an American soldier, but he was from Jamaica, and he could throw. And I had a 7-inch double-edged Gerber that was pretty nice. He's like, it's not perfectly balanced, but we'll work with it. So he's throwing that all day, and the point would get damaged, and he'd take it that evening and bring it back the next day for me. So she's good to go. So long story short, but we catch an iguana down by the Panama Canal, and it's brightest green color you've ever seen in your life. And we give it to one of the GI, and he drops it, and it takes off. And I grab that knife and throw. And everybody stops and freezes to look at me because I don't stab the animal, but I pinned it with the hilt to the ground. And they're like, oh. And I was like,
You can never do that again.
no, trust me.
Never do that again.
I can't even hit that tree from here.
Yeah.
But that's my knife story. But I went over.
You became a legend.
Oh my gosh, dude! They thought they were like, no, I'm not messing with that guy ever. But I picked up, handed the iguana, put the knife back in my sheet, like I knew what I was doing. They're like, dude, I was like, no.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's great.
I couldn't hit that wall from here, but lightning in a bottle. But that's awesome, and you have really went above. Yeah, he forged some beautiful knives. Tommy said that, Race Wolf. You went above and beyond.
Check that out. You'll have to give me that information.
I will.
Check it out.
I think he would be interesting for you to meet him and talk to him.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding ahead to what you do now.
Yeah.
It shows in your work what type of human being you are.
Thank you.
Drive around town and look at one of the fences you've done, and you can tell John Bolin did that. I know it right. No, yeah. You see it right off.
Yeah.
And not only that, but your handyman work too. But your fences are noticeable because they're out there.
Yeah.
So what? First of all, do you miss it?
Yeah.
Wearing the badge
Every day.
I bet.
Miss it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. It never leaves you. I've been out for
8 years, 9 years.
Yeah. I lose track of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, think about it all the time. Miss it. Drive by and see police officer with a car stopped, and I follow as I pass. I make sure they're okay.
Right.
Because it's just built in me. It'll never be gone.
Habit.
Yeah. the hypervigilance is chilling out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not so hypervigilant anymore, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But it's kind of torture to be hypervigilant 24/7. So that's kind of, you don't have to be so hypervigilant when you're dealing with drills and saws and hammers.
No, you still
A little bit.
a lot of military and LEOs sit where you can see the door.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I still do that.
Oh, yeah.
When my wife and I go in a restaurant, she knows.
Yeah.
She already knows. She knows where I'm going to sit.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Got to see that door, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, and I'm always running through my head a scenario. If this, then that. This is what I'm going to do if this happens. And
People don't understand it, but in the life that you lived and in most of your military and LEOs, that's instilled in you. Mm-hmm. And
it better
that's
be.
a survival tactic
Yeah.
on everyday life.
If it's not part of, I know a lot of law enforcement guys listen to your show. If that's not instilled in you, then you're in the wrong line of work.
Yep.
You better be thinking about that kind of stuff all the time.
Situational awareness.
Yeah.
There was a gal that something was going on at Walmart the other day, and she was telling her, and the first thing I typed is situational awareness. Get your car with your keys in your hand and know what you're going to do when you get in your car. Lock the door. So they lock when I drive. You can lock them.
Yeah.
Lock them right off the bat.
It's interesting because I went to Bloomington this afternoon. I had to go down and get some materials for a job that I'm doing tomorrow. And the bridge there on 3rd Street that has the walkways on both sides of it.
Yeah.
There was a young girl, a teenager, probably high school, walking down the sidewalk with her phone and her face in her phone walking. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
get your eyes up.
Yeah.
Pay attention, just, situational awareness is so important.
Yes. Not only do you guys, but everyday life.
Yeah, for everybody.
Everyday life for everybody.
Yeah.
So, Hometown Handyman, why'd you pick the name and how you feel about what you're doing? It's a big jump from where you were.
It is a big jump, but not really, because when I was growing up, my dad worked at the post office. He retired from the post office, and he would get home about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, put on his bib overalls and get in the old work truck, and the boys, we'd load up with him and we'd go work, go do odd jobs. He called it odd jobs.
Right.
Handyman stuff.
Yeah.
And until dark. And so we learned from a young age how to do a lot of things. DIY is what everybody calls it now.
Do it yourself.
We were DIY because we had to be.
And you didn't have Google.
You couldn't hire. No, there was no Google, no YouTube videos. You couldn't pay to have somebody come and fix anything. Mm-hmm. We weren't a family of means to be able to do that. So it's something that I've really done all my life. And when I was a deputy, I did it. I did construction.
I remember you worked in construction for a while.
And yeah, I did a little bit here and there, and had some, again, great mentors in that, because not only my dad, but I built fence do you remember Dane Champlin, Mid-State Fence?
Yep.
He hired a lot of young guys like me and my brother, and Brad Fox worked for him.
Yep.
And several of us worked for Dane Champlin building fences and all over the place. And that's how I learned really how to build fence and do it right. And then Mark and Stan Gray owned a company called South Central Forms, concrete company. They poured, concrete walls. And I worked for them. And working for them was where I learned how to work really hard. And
that's a tough gig.
Tolerate all kinds of weather. Those guys, I mean, they didn't mess around.
Yeah.
You worked, and you worked hard. That was hard work.
Pouring concrete's not easy.
No. And great guys, great mentors. But yeah, I just decided, when it was my time to wrap it up in law enforcement, that I needed something to do. And I thought, well, I can build stuff, I can fix stuff, and I'll give it a shot. And I talked to some of the local contractors, some of the bigger contractors. I didn't just jump in without educating myself a little bit. I said, is there a need in this area for a handyman business? And they said, oh, absolutely. There's a few handyman businesses around here.
Thank you, Kenny.
That's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always a need.
Oh yeah, and this area is
the smaller jobs.
And this area is booming. It's going to be with your subdivisions coming in.
Yeah.
So construction companies in places like that are going to be busy anyway.
Yeah.
But these handyman jobs, what do they call? What'd your dad call them?
Odd jobs.
Odd jobs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Repairs and stuff. I do a lot of deck, like the work I'm doing now out in Green Township for a great guy is a deck repair.
Yeah.
It's people that just need something fixed and not totally replaced. I mean, you can get a big company to come in anytime and tear off this deck's 50 feet long across. It's a 2-story deck across the back of a house, but it didn't need rebuilt. It just needed resurfaced.
Needs some loving,
needs some work. Yeah. And you can get a big contractor to come in anytime, tear that off, and build a totally new one. $40-50 grand. Or you can get somebody to come in like me and repair it for a whole lot less than that.
Right.
And it'll be fine.
And good quality work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to take anything away from the bigger contractors. I mean, there's a need for every I've met a lot of good contractors in different companies, plumbers in different little companies, and Porch Time does a great service to these small companies and these small businesses in Martinsville.
We try.
I mean, it's really been great to watch. And when people ask for recommendations on Porch Time, I get tagged all the time by great people that, people that are previous customers and people that just know me. And I can't thank those people enough. I don't have to advertise anywhere. Facebook and Porch Time, that's it.
Keep you busy.
Yeah, that's it. Word of mouth. Everybody, they share my
that's
name.
that next time someone asks for an odd job, I'll be like, we got to keep John busy.
Yeah, keep me busy.
If not, he'll be joining some law enforcement somewhere. I'm going to joke with you. The only thing, and I'm sure you'll have a reply to this. Well, the only thing you didn't do was DNR, and I'm surprised you didn't hit that route at some point in time.
Oh, I don't know.
Conservation officer.
I would have had to go back through another academy. I've heard that one's tough.
That was probably...
I never was a very good swimmer either.
No.
So I think I'll stay away from that.
I think a young guy from your neck of the woods ended up being a DNR guy here for a while. I forget his name. But he used to...
Chrisman?
Well, he's one now. But the blonde
his parents live out in my neighborhood.
Yeah. But the blonde-haired kid, we used to play barn ball there at Charlie's and beat the living snot out of each other. What was his name? You know who I mean.
You're talking way back now.
Yeah.
Daggone,
you remember that barn I'm talking about? Right there when you come off Godsey.
Andy Ball's barn right on the corner. Yeah.
And it had the basketball court.
Yeah, I hear all kinds of people talk about playing basketball there.
Yeah.
I never did. I never did play sports.
It wasn't basketball. It was Fight Club with a basketball involved.
I bet. Barnyard ball.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I seen Charlie Hill hit a 2x4 an I-beam full speed right across the head, and I think I think it laid him open, but the beam took the worst of it. Charlie was a big boy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he used to play out there with us. And lost Canoy. Yes, there you go.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a conservation officer for a while.
Yeah, he was on the SWAT team here in the county.
Yeah. Good dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
So that's every time I seen you were all part of something, but I kept waiting for you to show up in the green. But
no, that was too elite of a group for me.
That, and I never heard anything about you getting on an airplane or anything. So. No, I did have a sport pilot license for a while. Yeah, I had a good friend that was teaching me to fly. Little cub. I thought I'd heard that, caught wind of that. So I'd be like, you'll be marshalling on an airplane before it's over with. Watch.
Yeah, I had a student pilot license, I said sport pilot license, but I had a student. I never did fly solo. I was getting close. But he that good friend quit flying and sold his planes. And, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think. Kanoi couldn't get there, but yeah, that's a good group out there. So you do odd jobs, handyman jobs.
Yeah.
From decking to fencing,
All kinds of repairs. I'll do some electrical, just replacing fixtures. Put in a new ceiling fan, replace light fixtures, porch lights, different things like that. I won't do any new wiring.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take on anything that I'm not comfortable with, and I'm honest with the customers.
Yeah.
I don't do any kind of plumbing other than replace a sink or something. If the plumbing's already there and you're just replacing or fixing something minor, I'll do that. But
plumbing's a different breed.
It is, and I think it's the only trade in Indiana you have to really be licensed for. It's plumbing. Yeah, you have to have a license to be a plumber, I believe. Somebody that's listening may correct me, but I think that's the only one in Indiana.
Well, there's a reason, because that's tough.
Yeah,
that's a tough business.
So I refer that stuff out to some good plumbers here in town, and
you got Hudson, you got Galloway, and you got a few others.
Yeah. Adam Thacker, Undercutters. He's on it.
Nick says I have plenty that needs done. Nick Watson.
Well, get a hold of me. Get you on the schedule.
So
I get real energetic in the fall when the heat's gone.
Oh, I can only imagine. This time of year is horrible.
Oh, this year's been awful.
Yeah. I
don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and I can't tolerate it, but it's just awful. I've been building decks. I've had several decks this summer, and right in this heat, and man, oh man, I'll tell you. I go home and whine and cry. My wife gets so tired of hearing me bellyache about it.
Need a good inside job. Corey says my fit still looks brand new. Does phenomenal work.
Awesome.
Out there in not Baker Township, but he's on the board.
He's right across right across from us. Yeah. Sometimes he gets those nice winds and breezes from Baker Township over there in Liberty Valley.
We always say it's the windiest part of the state right there in that valley.
Liberty Valley, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So it's busy, staying busy though? A lot of work?
Yeah.
Now, is it just you or you got a crew?
It's just me right now.
Oh my.
Yep. I decided, I did put out a thing. I was looking for part-time help earlier this year, but it just got to the point where I decided I was just going to take on jobs that I could do by myself, because it's just hard to keep somebody. Well, here's the main thing, really. I've had some really good help. I've had some really good people, but I don't like to work 40 hours a week. And when people come to work for you, they want
40 a week plus. Yeah.
So I would work 3 or 4 days and maybe take 3 or 4 days off, and I just couldn't guarantee hours to somebody. So it's doing them a disservice to hire them and then say, hey, I'm hot and tired. I'm not working for a week.
You do that when you're the boss.
Yeah.
And the only worker.
Yeah. So
that's all right. You deserve it.
Sometimes I argue with the boss in the mirror about what I'm going to do.
I'm not going to work today. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. So when you want to hire him for a big job, it's October in that area, because he'll work 40 hours in this weather, not in the 90.
Yeah, I get real energetic when it cools down.
Not in this 90-degree heat. I think it was just a hot summer. Humidity-wise, we seem to be stuck in a humidity bubble.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I used to play ball in this.
This mic is like, I think I'm shaking my head over here too much.
Is it shaking?
Yeah.
Is it vibrating?
Hold on a minute. I'm going to clamp it down a little tighter.
Corey, he's over breaking your mic, bud.
Okay.
We'll have to have. He's in here putting oil on our mics and everything.
I know a handyman. Wait, I got some 3-in-1 oil and WD-40.
Hey, that was the fix-all.
If you have 3-in-1, WD-40, and a tube of clear caulk, you can fix about anything.
If you didn't have a red and white can of 3-in-1 on your shelf back in the day, at least one.
Yeah.
Dad would put that on the dogs, on the car, or whatever.
On the dogs.
Get rid of fleas. Put it on there,
Make the dogs quit squeaking.
Right. That and duct tape would fix everything.
Yeah.
Well, John, it's I want to say an honor because I've known you for so long and I've known some of the stuff you went through. And I'm underselling what you've done for this community, and a lot of people don't know the state and on down the line. And some of the names that were, he don't lie when he gets to run the nail gun.
That's true. She loves it. Once she got comfortable with that pass load, it scares me. If anybody ever finds me laying somewhere with a couple of 16 pass load nails, in the
You'll
back of my
know.
head,
You'll know.
yeah, it's her.
You've done wonderful things, and I want to say you deserve it. The break, and I think you're doing what you love. You enjoy.
I do enjoy it.
I say it's a break, but it's not.
Yeah, it's I did truly enjoy protecting and serving.
Yeah,
I really did. I took that to heart, and when I took my oath of office from the county to the city, state, all the way to the federal level. You know, I had a Department of Justice security clearance, and I took that stuff very seriously. Mm-hmm. And I have that protect and serve spirit, I think, and I enjoy doing things for people and fixing things and having them stand back and say, that looks great.
Yeah.
Or, thank you, I love that. Or, even, like grab bars in showers for people that are not getting around as well as they used to, or a wheelchair ramp, anything like that.
I'm not far from any of that, bud. So.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah.
But
Father Time's
if
undefeated.
you do need one, let me know.
Right. Father Time's undefeated. So.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely have to sit down and chit chat. I've got some work that we've discussed off air already. Won't get into that.
Yeah.
But so if somebody wanted to get a hold of you through Facebook,
it's Your Hometown Handyman LLC is my Facebook page.
There's Brad Fox. Look at that right there. That's timing,
that's right.
buddy.
See,
that was the summer of '91. This is as far as fence. Yeah, he had mentioned you, Brad.
Yeah. Brad was
Chaplain. Was it Chaplain Fence? Is that what you said?
Champlin. Mid-state fence.
Yeah.
Dane Champlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. He built a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Really nice fences. And Brad was right there. Brad could dig a post hole with one swipe of the post hole.
He's about 6'4". He could.
I know. He'd just drive that thing in the ground, and you didn't want to get in his way if he was having a bad day.
There you go, Corey. Thank you, sir. That's there's John's.
Yeah. Thank you. And so they can reach me that way, and it really, when you go to my page, you'll see my phone number right there, and that's the best way to reach me. Text or call.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have to remember to empty my voicemail; it gets filled up. So you can text me, and I'll make an appointment. I'm about a week out on estimates, so I can get to an estimate pretty quick, and then I don't book myself out like I used to. Right now, I'm booked pretty much through September, and that's it, because I just don't. Because the weather will get, inevitably, if you book 2 months, you'll have 2 weeks of rain.
Right.
And then everybody that's booked is going to be upset because
then they're mad at you.
Yeah, so I just don't book myself out like that anymore.
Right.
But yeah. The phone, the text is probably the best way. A lot of people have sent messages on Messenger, and I don't get the notification. And I decide to look at Messenger, and it's like 2 weeks old. And I'm like, oh man, I feel awful when I don't see a message until, because I had a really good friend that was a very successful businessman. He said the most important thing is communicate. Mm-hmm. He said you got to communicate with your customers and communicate throughout the process, before and after the process. And I've learned that that's very true. Yeah. Really, people appreciate that.
I think as long as you tell them A, B, and C, may not always be what they want to hear, but as long as it's the truth and you're spilling it, it's easier to swallow.
Yeah.
And as long as, like you said, through the process, as long as you don't come up at the very end and say, hey, I had to do A, B, and C.
Right.
No.
No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
I would never blindside somebody and say, oh, by the way, I had to fix this too. No, I'd never do that.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want it done to me.
Well, your work speaks for itself. You can go look at Corey's fence, and there's other John does great work for a fair price. He's done a couple jobs for Kathy and I, and he does phenomenal. Exactly. Just go by and look at some of the stuff he's done here in the community. It's just, like I said, it shows your personality. It shows you're still laser focused. You may not be wearing the badge, but your work ethic is still there. So still may not, you are who you are, and that doesn't change.
Thank you.
Very, very nice to have you on here tonight, John. We've been trying for a couple weeks to get you on here, but you're out busy. So
yeah, I'm in bed.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
I'll probably fall asleep going home. This is pretty late for me.
You got to get all the way out to Baker Township now. That's a haul.
I know.
So.
I got to get out and wade across the river and everything and get back home.
Right. Hey, I'll ask you while we're on air. One of my daughters lives on Denny Road out there now. Mm-hmm. She rented a house, character integrity, exactly. She rented a house out there off Denny Road, decent price. It's a beautiful home. Mm-hmm. But as I was out there delivering something to her, there's no direct shot. You got to wind your way through you got to go through the entire area of Baker Township. Mm-hmm. There's a building out there, and it has Baker Township on the building. Mm-hmm. Is that
the Baker Township Community Building?
That's
across from the Union Church.
That's what I thought that was. I'd never seen that, and I bet you I'd been past it 1,000 times.
Yeah,
probably because I was looking at the church first.
Right. Yeah, that used to be an old schoolhouse.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
reminds me of a smaller version of Cross School.
Yeah, and in fact, there's a group out there in Baker Township that is trying to turn that into a little library, a free library thing.
Like a book
exchange or whatever you call it. Yeah. The free library.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they're trying to do that. I think they're meeting some small challenges with that.
Yeah, somebody will complain about something, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think the building needs some maintenance and stuff like that. So it's usually all about fundraising.
Sure.
Or something like that. So
I only recommend the great ones, and Johnny's on the list. We're going to have to have about a little of this electrical work he's been doing though. yeah.
It's all real simple, Tom.
Yeah, changing the light switch out and yeah. I knew enough. I worked electrician for a couple years. I knew enough to get myself shocked, and I was like, I'm going back to aerospace. I'm done with this. Yeah. So, Johnny, it's a pleasure, buddy.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it.
We'll keep pushing you on the page and. We'll work some things out moving forward.
Sounds good.
Corey raves about his fence. I'm like, I know. He does good work, Corey. Wow, come on.
Got to keep it maintained, Corey. Yeah. Get some water seal on that thing next spring or summer.
Yeah,
it'll last a long time.
He loves it. Loves it and did good work. John Bolin, Hometown Handyman. Look him up. If you have an odd job to do, get a hold of Johnny. Thanks for coming in, John. Thanks, you guys, for tuning in tonight. Love you guys. Is today Monday? Yes,
it is.
Bible for Dummies tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So look forward to that. Luke Jackson should be back with us tomorrow night. So love you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening, and we will see you soon.